This is a story about a little boy, and his mama sent him to the store to get some soap. And she said to him, "Now don't you forget, son, I said soap." So he went down the road, and he was running down the road, and he was saying soap, 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 soap. So he wouldn't forget. And he come to a slick place on the road, and he slipped down and fell. Got up again, went on, tried to think what it was his mommy had sent him for, and he couldn't remember. So he walked back to where he slipped, and he says, "Right there, I had it." And he walked on a little piece, and he said, "Right there, I lost it." And he said, "Right there, I had it." And he walked up a few steps, and he said, "Right there, I lost it." And he kept on walking back and forth there in the road and saying, "Right there, I had it," and "Right there, I lost it," until he had him a regular loblolly. That's a mud puddle up there in the road, and had mud mired plumb over the tops of his shoes. And a man come along directly, and he heard what he was saying, and he asked him, he says, "Well, what you lost?" And here was a little boy walking back for, "Right there I had it, and right there I lost it. Right there I had it, right there I lost it." "Well, what you lost, and I'll help you find it." "Right there I had it, right there I lost it, right there I had it, right there I lost it." So the man thought he was crazy, and he started on by, and he slipped in that boy's loblolly, and like to fell, and he says, "That blame mud hits as thick as soap." "Oh, soap, 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 soap," says the little boy, and he started off again, and that man thought that boy was mocking him. And he stepped over, and he grabbed him, and he shook him till his teeth rattled, and he says, "You say you sorry, and you won't do it again, or I'll whoop you good." "Sorry I done it, won't do it again. Sorry I done it, I won't do it again." So the man turned him loose, and the boy went on, but he started into saying that, and he couldn't think of the soap. And he got down the road a piece, and he come across an old woman and fell in the ditch and broke all the eggs she had in her basket. And she was getting up about the time that little boy come along. What was he saying? "Sorry I done it, I won't do it again. Sorry I done it, I won't do it again." Old woman thought he was making fun of her, so she grabbed him and she boxed his ears, and then she pushed him in the ditch and says, "I'm out and you're in." Well, here he got out of the ditch, and he went on down the road, and this time he was saying, "I'm out, you're in, I'm out, you're in." And he come to where a man had one wagon wheel mired way down in the mud puddle, and he is trying to get it out. Here comes that little boy. "I'm out and you're in, I'm out and you're in." And the man grabbed him and says, "You won't say that. One's out, now you come here and help me get the other one out. I'm going to whoop you good." So the boy had to help him, and when they got it out, on down the road he went, "One's out, get the other one out. One's out, get the other one out." And a one-eyed man come along. And that boy went past him. And he is a-saying, "One's out, get the other one out. One's out, get the other one out." And the one-eyed man grabbed him, and he just smoked that boy's britches good, and he says, "You oughtn't say such a thing to me. You might have said one's in anyway." Turned him loose, and on that boy went. "One's in anyway! One's in anyway!" And he come to where there was a woman washing clothes at her washing place in the creek side of the road, and her two least young'uns was running around there playing, and one of them had slipped and fell in the creek. Woman run to get it out, and just about that time, here come that boy. "One's in anyway! One's in anyway!" And she jerked that young'un out of the creek, and then she went after that boy and grabbed him, and she was about to give him a good spanking for making fun of her and her young'uns. But when she saw how dirty he was, and where he'd been in the mud so many times and been crying and wiping his face with his muddy hands, she took pity's sake on him and turned him loose and says, "You run on back home and you tell your mommy to take some soap and wash that dirty face." Time he heard soap, he lit out down the road, "Soap, soap, 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 soap." And that time he got to the store and got the soap and run on home with it and handed it to his mommy, and she give him one look, and she took him by the ear and marched him down to her wash place and soused him down in the creek, clothes and all. And then she soaked him up all over with his breeches and his shirt right on him, and soused him down again till she got all the mud and dirt off of him. And then she took 2 clothespins and hung him up on her clothesline by his shirt tail and left him there to dry while she got the rest of her washing done.
That was funny.
Like that story?